What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 tier list, and let's start.
So, of course, the only SS tier, I think, belongs to EP.
Yeah, he has Detonation.
He is the fastest Peashooter, has a really fast reload. He is the most played competitive character, and that's for a good reason, being that he is incredibly overpowered. And he is an incredible character for getting high kills.
Yep.
Next, we're moving on to S tier, and we got Agent P, Plasma P, and Law P. Agent P has incredibly high DPS. I think that's just self-explanatory. He does have slightly lower health, but he makes up for that with ammo and, of course, incredible firepower. Plasma P is pretty much like Reg P, but with a faster rate of fire, higher DPS. Of course, you can charge up incredibly powerful shots. Law P is pretty good because, I mean, it will fire as fast as you can spam, so you can pretty much one-burst 125 health characters, which is, like, the majority of the zombies. Fourth best character in S tier, we got Cannon. Cannon is a detonator who does 32 damage for deaths and 49 for directs. That's very, very powerful. And, I mean, yeah, Cannon.
Yeah.
He's also incredibly good at long range, which he will normally beat EP at. But EP is stronger than him because, you know, he's able to just beam jump across the map and kill him. In a close range fight, he's kind of outpowered by a lot of characters, but he's still really good. Rhodey, he is the strongest Chomper counter in the game. He has really high DPS if you spam. Knockback, he can cancel abilities. And I mean, what else is there?
Jackhammer, just fly across the map.
Yeah, you can just jackhammer to rush people. He is not held back by his close range game. It is powerful as hell. Alright, so we got Toxic Brains.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Like, Toxic Overload, it's overpowered.
Yeah, he starts off a little bit weak as a Super Brains, but with how incredibly easy it is to get Toxic Overload and how powerful it is, he's just a behemoth to fight.
It's another detonator. It's basically just like...
Imagine Cannon, but with more health and slower bullets. That's pretty much what you get with Petrified. Pretty great character. Slightly worse than Cannon for... She will literally get outgunned in any ranged fight when you're fighting Cannon, because the bullets travel slower and it's harder to det the shots. We got Soldier and Super Commando. These guys are like neck and neck. It's really preference at this point.
They're solid characters. Like,
yeah, you get 10 damage shots with a pretty fast rate of fire with Soldier.
Yeah.
And then you get like 22 damage for each shot in a 3-round burst. And you can, with both ammo upgrade, or both reload upgrades, Super Commando is a very big threat to fight. We have Twilight Chomper. Twilight Chomper, in my opinion, is the best Chomper for, he has the health, he has the option of having warp, and I mean, he's like he has Hot Rod speed, he has more health, and he can do more damage per chomp. I mean, he's kind of like better Hot Rod.
Yeah, not to mention the warp goes like halfway across the map. So,
yeah, it's a very long warp. Next we have Necros. Jinx is way too powerful. Like, not just the Necros in general, but if you get jinxed in front of another person, you're going to lose. That is an extra 140% damage. Like, you will be taking 140% damage of what you should be taking. And that will most likely lead to you dying really fast. We have Party Brains. Party Brains is just Super Brains, and he's just slightly better Super Brains. Super Brains overall is a solid character. We have Astronaut. Good rate of fire, pretty good DPS. He has range. He's like Foot Soldier, but with scientist abilities, and yeah, that's kind of good.
Yeah, also easy to use.
We have Zen Cactus, who, this one's kind of personal bias, but I love this character, and he can hit pretty great damage. Like, he can hit freaking Camo Cactus damage without the, you know, very high, or very large sight. And yeah, we have Captain Deadbeard. Captain Deadbeard is just a very solid character. He is just overall a really good character.
Yeah, good kit, good weapon.
Super Brains, I've kind of explained this, but he's just a good character. Pretty good damage, or actually really good damage, good health. If you know the speed trick, he's like, the sky's the limit at that point. You can fly across the map. Alright, we have these Peashooters. Reg P is the best out of these because, you know, 37 damage, 125 or 35 health. Pretty great. It's a good character for it has good DPS, and it's just like the median of all the Peashooters. We have Commando P. It's pretty much the same as Reg P, except it's
Full
rapid
auto.
fire.
Full auto with a little bit less damage.
Yeah. Then we have Rock P. Rock P is a pretty good armored character. It's not really held back by his speed. He has a pretty good reload, so the ammo doesn't really, the lower ammo doesn't really hold him back. Overall, a good character. And he also does pretty good splash and damage. Fire P, it's a very good fire variant, especially considering it has splash and hyper. Cosmic Brains, some may disagree with this placement, but the Cosmic combo is really OP. Breakfast Brains can have like nearly toxic overload DPS when you have the full, breakfast things going up. Electro Brains just has an overpowered beam. He is kind of outclassed by Super Brains and all the other ones, but he's still pretty good. Shadow Flower's DPS is unmatched by the rest of the class. Same with Mystic, who's just a single fire, but has very good DPS, just like Shadow. We got Citron and Party. Citron, they're kind of just OP. Very good DPS, 200 health, OP ability setup. We got Stuffy Flower, who, is pretty much like Shadow Flower with less DPS, but of course the Rainbow Sunburst means that when you kill someone, they drop suns, which will heal your teammates. We got Z7 Imp. It's a pretty good trigger spam character. It's the third best out of these two, but the reason why it's kind of lower on this list is because it's outclassed by the most played competitive character. It's literally hard countered by him. For EP can just 3-shot him, or I think even 2-shot if you're not using the health upgrade. Then we have Captain Squawk and Flameface. They're solid like Reg Deadbeard, but the DPS isn't the same. Flamethrower is actually better than you think. You can spam with it. Party Imp and Reg Imp are just... They're slightly worse than Z7, but they're not much worse. They have good mechs, and they have pretty great DPS. Hot Rod. It's pretty much just slightly worse Twilight Chomper, but you get a speed boost when you eat someone, and that's pretty helpful. Really fast character, really good Chomper. We have Marine and Computer. It's really debatable who's better here. I kind of side with Marine, but Computer's also incredibly good. Marine has really good DPS. Computer in Crunch Mode has almost the same. Honestly, you can go whatever way with this. Yeti Chomper, really underrated character. It has very good splash, and it has a projectile as a Chomper, which is really good. Plus, I mean, you can freeze people incredibly fast, and the Yeti Chomp combo is very annoying and OP. All-Star and Cricket Star are, in my opinion, the best two. They're just good. Good DPS, fire damage with good DPS. We have all of these cactuses, which are pretty much the same with Deadbeard. They are very good snipers, solid characters, solid DPS, nothing really wrong with them. Corns, all three of these corns have incredible DPS, which is why they're in A tier. And of course the ability setup of a god. Reg Scientist, it's 77 damage. It's not as high as these two because ammo. Paleo is just... Paleo's a really good character because you can play him close and far range. Ice P is kind of just slightly worse than Reg P and Fire P. I don't like the ice effect as much as, the normal variants, but it's still pretty good. Tank Commander, 65 damage. You can reload pretty fast with both reloads. Sky Trooper, very fast rate of fire. It has higher DPS than Reg Soldier, but then again, it kind of forces you to use the reload and ammo upgrade. We have Scuba, good health, good damage. It's pretty much Tank Commander with 2 ammo. Iron Citron, a little bit lower than some of these others. But I don't like Iron Citron because his DPS is kind of low outside of Iron Mode. And you're not even going to spend that large amount of the game in Iron Mode, so it's kind of just outclassed by these two.
He was terrible without upgrades. Terrible.
Yeah, and then we have Frozen Citron. It's just like these two, but then again, I'm not as appreciative of the ice effect. That is kind of personal preference of these two, but either way, his DPS is slightly lower, so that's why he's down here. AC Parry, pretty good character. Good freeze, good splash, good DPS. Overall, a good character. Mechanic is like Rhodey, except with a ranged attack. The only reason it's not Rhodey's tier is because there's no, like, DPS trick or something with him. And, of course, no knockback and ability cancel. Torchwood's just a pretty good character in general. Really good abilities, pretty good primary, and insane amount of health. Chomper and Disco Chomper, they're just kind of good. They're good chompers. Use both digestion upgrades to see their full potential. Fire Chomper and Chomp Thing are up here because if you spam with them, you can make their DPS incredibly high. Hovergo, it's just a solid character. It's like Foot Soldier with worse abilities, in my opinion, and slightly worse primary. These three roses, they're just a little bit outclassed by Necros, but good DPS on both of these, and this one's just a freeze character with very fast freeze rate, very threatening. We got Reg, Sanitation Expert, and him, which all have good splash, good damage, pretty good ammo and reload. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Zoologist and Physicist are kind of worse than these two, but they're still good. These guys are pretty much all clones of each other. The Fire Flower is the only one with a lot of differences. Burst Fire, just Reg Flower with electric damage, and then 35 ammo with fire damage. Toxic P, in my opinion, is the worst P. I can make a whole, explanation of this, but I don't care enough to. Popscorn and Mob Cub are just, worse versions of these guys.
What rose
They're
is
just
that?
worse.
What's that one?
Party.
Oh.
We have Barbecue Corn. He's just kind of, not that great because his DPS is low. We have these All-Stars. They're just kind of, average All-Stars. They're not bad. They're not, incredible like these two. We have Bandicactus. Bandicactus is arguably one of these, on this tier, but I don't like the way that he has so much blossoming and
Yeah.
a little bit too much recoil. Ice Cactus. I don't like Ice Cactus because it should have, faster freeze rate. It's not even a bad freeze rate, I just don't like it as much. Jade Cactus is just an armored character. I don't know. It's pretty good, though. We have these Chompers. These Chompers are just worse than all the Chompers up here.
Armor Chomper's just too slow.
Armor Chomper's too slow for me to like. He's not horrible, but he's not fast enough to be enjoyable. Unicorn is below Reg Chomper, just under the assumption that you're using Unicorn Warp, which is just worse than Burrow. Doesn't really go that far. Count Chompula is just kind of worse than Reg. And then these two are just worse, Fire Chomper and Chomp Thing. We got Toxic Citron, not the best DPS. These guys are alright. They're not these few up here. We got Sharkbite, he's just kind of a lower tier pirate. He's kind of outclassed by Reg. Druid Rose and Fire Rose, they lack very good DPS. They have pretty good homing, but they're not good enough to be an A. Pylon Imp and Shrimp, I mean, they're just alright imps. Pretty good DPS, but again, not A tier. Same with these guys. Their mechs are alright, though. Then we have Plumber. He's just, he's probably the same level as Electrician. I don't know why he's down here. I just added him later. Chemist and Dr. Toxic are just lower tier scientists. Chemist is outclassed by Zoologist, and Dr. Toxic is outclassed by Physicist. Park Ranger, you could argue that he's an A tier, I can see that, but I don't know.
Preference.
Yeah, preference. We got General Supremo, just kind of worse Reg Soldier. You can't bunny hop, that doesn't hold him back too much, but I mean, his DPS is a little bit lacking compared to Soldier. Centurion doesn't have good enough DPS, even though it does have fire damage. Arctic Trooper, I just don't enjoy Arctic Trooper.
It's arguable, but we don't like ice characters.
I'm not the biggest enjoyer of some of these ice characters. Camo Ranger is alright. I mean, he's not good, but he's not bad. Then we're on to the lower tiers. C and F. So I put Wrestling Star here just because, I mean, he's Wrestling Star.
Yeah,
not good enough DPS is, it's just not that great. Citron, I think we all know why his damage drop-off is just so dumb. You can't do good damage for anything except point blank, and his point blank game is just still outclassed by these guys. Party Man, he's just worse Deadbeard. That's kind of the only reason he's down here. Archaeologist, he's just the worst scientist. Metal Pedal, she's like, I don't know. I don't really have a problem with Metal Pedal. I just don't seem to enjoy her. F tier is Moto X Star. Moto X Star does like little to no damage, and its only gimmick is being faster and having the mud, which barely does anything. Vampire Flower has like no health, barely any damage, and not even enough ammo. And Alien Flower.
I mean, not fun to play.
Not fun to play. It does have the spores, but I don't see that as enough to carry a character of this bad of a primary.
And just not much damage, you know.
So then again,
It was slow fire rate, by
this
the
is
way.
the tier list, in full. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like if you agree, maybe leave us a comment if you disagree. Please subscribe, and yeah, see ya.